So this one says, hello, sisters. I am 32 years old and married for 5 years. My husband is a good man and shows me lots of love. 2 years ago, he asked me to change my perm hair to natural because women look sexier like that. I had very long hair, but cut it off to start the natural hair to make him happy. I remember virtually shedding tears when I was cutting my hair off. I've grown my natural hair for the past 2 years, and it looks great, which he sometimes acknowledges. However, just 2 days ago, he came from work to tell me I should cut off my hair because he now finds very short hair attractive. I was upset because I become used to my long natural hair. I realize he's even changed his WhatsApp DP from me to a lady with short hair. I've decided not to let it bother me. My mother says I'm being petty. I should do anything to make my man happy. Jess, am I being petty? Why can't he understand that I don't want to cut my hair? Should I just let peace prevail by cutting it off, as he says? And this is from Coney in Accra. So let me come to you, ladies, and I'll start with Olivia. Curious to know what you have to say about this one. You have natural hair, don't you?
I do, and I love my natural hair, but that's my personal preference, and that's because I choose to wear my hair natural. I wasn't forced to keep it natural by my husband whatsoever. It's my personal decision and my personal choice. But going back to this lady and what she's going through, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to marriage, it's hand go, hand come. I mean, the first time you cut your hair to make him happy, now he wants short hair. He doesn't want you to wear your hair permed. Now, at which point in time are you going to stand up for yourself, my dear? It's he should be concerned about your happiness as well in the relationship. It shouldn't always be about him. What's going to happen the next time? So the next time he's going to tell you to literally cut your head off because that's what's going to make him happy. And are you going to be pushed to do that? I mean, something's got to give, my dear. Listen. It's not like you can wake up and then tell him maybe you have a problem with something about him. How would he feel if you woke up one morning and said to him, you know what, babe, I mean, I've been with you for these number of years, but today, like, I really fancy, based on my previous experiences, I really fancy something. So change this thing about you. I mean, you ladies would say, Olivia, my mind has gone there, but assuming you went on to criticize his manhood, how would he feel? I think he should stop being inconsiderate about you and about your feelings. And I have a problem with the fact that your mom thinks that you should do everything you have to do to make your husband happy. I'm sorry. Tomorrow, if he wakes up and then he decides he wants to be intimate with you in other areas, what are you going to do? Something has got to give. You have to stand up. You have to tell him, yes, you're willing and ready to make him happy, but he should also be considerate about you and about your feelings. This is you. This is your being. This is what makes you happy. You want to wear your hair long. You want to wear your hair this way. This is what makes you happy. And you can only do so much. He should also meet you halfway. At least you've tried once. You can't keep doing this for him. I'm sorry. Go into that conversation with him and tell him, really, Masa, you know what? I love you. You're my husband. But I think you should also be considerate. You should also be considerate of my feelings and how I feel regarding all of this. So I think you should just have this conversation with him and move on. Because seriously, if you don't put a stop to it, you're going to wake up one morning and you're going to sacrifice something that is not just your hair. So really, it has to stop at some point.
All right, let me come to you, Tina, to see what you think about this one. I mean, after all, it's hair that can grow back, no?
All right, yes. So for me, I don't find anything wrong in someone or a partner trying to please the other, but you don't do it at the expense of your happiness. That's what I think.
Okay.
You can't always please your partner by changing what makes you happy. And I find that a lot of people at the beginning of their relationships do these things to keep their partners. So let's say, oh, I met this guy and he's into ladies with high heels, so let me wear high heels all the time. Meanwhile, you're not comfortable with it. Maybe it makes your back hurt, but because you see him and he likes somebody in high heels, you try to wear it, and in the process, you lose that thing and he loses the interest. You get it. So for me, my main thing is that fine, you can cut your hair, you can wear a wig, you can wear whatever, short skirts, as long as you are not breaking yourself or making yourself unhappy to make your husband happy, then I'm for it. Now, your mother advised you that you should do anything to make your husband, to keep your husband. Well, I realized from my life that most of our parents actually went the extra mile to keep, especially our mothers, went the extra mile to keep our fathers very happy. And so anything the father wanted, like the husband wanted, the wife would literally have to bend her back. And she wasn't necessarily happy, or they weren't necessarily happy, but just to keep the sanity and just to keep that peace and harmony in the family, they would do it. That is why you are having such an advice from your mother. But going forward along the line, we learn from our mistakes. We become better off. We become better people. And so now you just have to, what you need to do is to have a discussion with your husband. Let him know that, listen, we love ourselves, but I can't tell you to reduce the size of your organ, your genital organ, just because I am unhappy with it. I cannot do that, because you cannot change it, or you can, but it won't make you happy. So for you to be disrespecting me by putting another lady with a short hair on your DP and all that, it's a no, you see. So please don't, you made a mistake, or I would call it a mistake. When you give people more than you have, then they demand more. So in the beginning, you shouldn't have done what you wanted if it went against your own principle. When you were cutting your hair, you found it very, very painful, because you were crying when you were cutting your long hair. But now that you've done that and all that, let him know that you have been unhappy with everything. Now where you are at, you are fine with your hair as it is. He should love you, appreciate you for you. Otherwise, you can't do it. You can't do it. You know, otherwise, what else is he asking you to change?
All right, you have a point there.
So for me, the conversation is very important.
Yeah, conversation definitely has to be had. Let me hear you, Rosina. What are your thoughts on this one? I mean, how much should you sacrifice to keep your husband or your relationship?
Well, personally, what I would say is that every individual has their unique qualities. Like, nobody's DNA is the same as the other one. There could be similarities here and there. The reason why, for instance, DNA is very unique to everybody is because everybody is different. And everybody has what makes them happy. Everybody has what makes them sad. Everybody has what makes them excited. So there's a particular part of you that dies with you when you're not allowed to do something. Now, marriage is not supposed to be a bondage. Marriage is supposed to be a partnership. It's supposed to be a partnership where two individuals have chosen willingly to get into a union in order to achieve a vision or a goal, or they have decided to spend their lives together. They have actually decided. So it's an actual decision by the two. Now, in the union of marriage, we've seen that over time, things have changed from when men had specific duties and women had specific duties, and men had to do the whole commanding and women had to do the whole accepting, and they'll do everything that the man has to say. Things are evolving. Women are also getting into work positions. Women are also into leadership positions. Women are also decision makers in society and in various fields of work. A woman have had to look after younger siblings and all of that. So you can't expect in a union to suddenly become something you are not. Where a man decides what you should do to your hair, what you should do to your nails, what you should do to this, what you should do to that. Now, however, there are certain parts of you that if you have to change to make your man happy, maybe you probably don't care, so it doesn't really matter. But for you, the hair was a big deal. When you had the texturized hair and he wanted you to move it to natural hair, you needed to get to that point where you decided to go natural because it will make your husband happy and because you're also cool with it. The moment you did it, when you hadn't sorted it out with yourself and you were crying through the whole process whilst you were doing it, it means that it's something that broke something out of you. Now, there are certain people, once you start giving them what they ask for, they believe that that is the norm. They don't appreciate the fact that you foregoing a part of your life just to make them happy is actually a sacrifice, or it's actually a compromise for the relationship. They now think that it's your responsibility to obey everything that they tell you to do. You understand? So the first one, you obeyed without complaint. You didn't even as much as tell the man how you felt about it. Of course, they tell, okay, do everything your husband wants to do, so you'll be happy, okay, fine. So you went ahead and cut your hair. Now you've grown the natural hair. Over time, you bonded with the natural hair. You're happy with it now. Now he says, go and cut it short. And you see, women and hair is a very personal thing. Women and hair is so personal. Like the hair that you carry speaks volumes, sometimes even about the kind of personality you have. And, you know, we have different kinds of hair, and some perform well when they are texturized. Others, once you texturize your hair, it looks horrible. But you start doing natural hair, everybody goes like, oh, this is beautiful. Some have natural hair so nice, they texturize and they begin to look like something else. You understand? So there should be that center. All I'm saying is that, look, in a marriage, it is not a military ground. It is not an obey without complaint situation. It's a situation where a man and a woman should be able to voice out their concerns. They should be able to voice out what they like. They should be able to voice out what makes them happy. And if they are sad or they are not happy about something, they should be able to voice that out. If they can't voice that out, then it means that there's no communication. Then I don't see where we are going, because what happens is that if you keep bottling it inside of you, everything he says you should do, you do it. You are not happy. The day is going to explode. It will go beyond, like it would explode so big. And that's when people will start to say things like, oh, she has changed. Now she's talking back at me. Now she's being disrespectful. But that's not it. The whole agenda is that you have actually, over time, denied yourself the opportunity to speak or to say something. So this is my take on it. It's better late than never. If this thing means a lot to you, it doesn't matter communicating with your husband, letting him know how much this means to you. And that even though you might consider cutting it, he should give you time to cut it. The picture on his DP is one of the most disrespectful moves that the husband could have done. Because if you said this is something that I like, all of a sudden you are putting women that fits that category on your page, it's absolute disrespect for your wife, no matter how much you look at it. Because if the roles were reversed, he will not take kindly to it. And sometimes that's what men seem to forget. They know how to dish out the orders. They know how to expect all kinds of things from you, but they don't know how it feels. If those same things, even half of those things are done to them, they react and they feel like everything is crumbling down. But they don't know that they have been dishing out the same things to you in multiple folds. So from here, all I'm trying to say is that, look, start having that conversation with him. If you're not happy with it, let him know that you're not happy with it. If you have to cut your hair, make sure that you come to that level where you feel that cutting your hair is okay by you. Now, a man who wants to cheat will cheat. He can make it look like you are the excuse for cheating. It's possible that he's met a lady who has short hair and he's trying to use this as the reason why he went after somebody with short hair, which he found admirable. So for all you know, he has made up his mind to cheat. Changing what makes you happy. Changing what puts a smile on your face. Always having to bend back 100% for him. It's not going to change it if he wants to cheat. If he wants to cheat, he will do it. If he doesn't want to do it, he won't do it. It's actually their decision to make. And it's not what you do that makes them decide whether or not they should do it.
Right.
So my take is that, look, you've changed your hair to natural ones. If you cut it again, the demands are not going to end there. Next time, the demands will be so much that it will take more than a scissors to meet those demands. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting, very interesting points all you ladies make. But I think we're all singing the same song, you know. Yes, you want to make your partner happy, but should that be to your detriment? And does that also mean that when he asks you for favors that, or to do things that really go against your grain, are you compelled to do it just because he's your husband? And this actually goes both ways, you know. I think it's not just even a matter of she requesting or her husband requesting certain things from her, but she also requesting things from her husband, which sometimes he may not be happy about. I think they just need to learn to be accommodating of each other. So to answer your question, dear lady, I don't think you're being petty. Okay, if your hair is a big deal to you, let him understand that this is how you like to identify yourself. This is how you want to be seen. I mean, your hair is your signature. Your hair is your crown, you know, and so you should have a haircut or a hairstyle that you identify with, and he should be able to understand that. And like Rosina said, if he will cheat, it doesn't matter whether you have a crown on your head, whether you have Rasta, Sakura, none of that would matter. So dear lady, please think about that and take your own decisions.